What's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Noman and today's analysis video is going to be about the Champions League final between Liverpool and Tottenham. So Tottenham on paper were lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but their formation on the ground was mostly 4-2-4, with a double pivot of Sissoko and Harry Winks in the midfield, and Eriksen often pushed up to join the offensive line. While Liverpool on the other hand lined up in their normal 4-3-3 formation and shifted to 4-5-1 without possession, with both Salah and Mane dropping in the midfield to help Liverpool defensively. In my last analysis video of Barcelona vs Liverpool, I talked about Liverpool's ability to hit opponents that like to play with a high defensive line. So this is from the game against Barcelona. We can see that Barcelona are trying to keep a high defensive line, and Liverpool often tried to release Sadio Mane by playing long passes from the back to Sadio Mane. And Mane had some very good chances to score the goal. Again, Matip's long pass to release Mane behind the high defensive line. And we saw an execution of this same pattern against Tottenham as well. Mauricio Pochettino also likes to play with a very high defensive line. Tottenham's very high defensive line, and both Salah and Mane are right at the shoulder of the last defender, ready to run and exploit the spaces behind the high defensive line. Henderson won possession and he immediately tried to release Mane behind Tottenham's high defensive line. And Liverpool makes it 1-0 inside the first minute. If you play with a high defensive line, then you need a sweeper goalkeeper who can read the play and step out to cover the spaces behind the high defensive line. But Hugo Lloris was not moving out, and Liverpool took full advantage of it. Tottenham's defensive line is almost at the halfway line. Salah and Mane are again right at the shoulder of the last defender, and this time Van Dijk plays a long pass to release Sadio Mane. Liverpool on average played 21 long passes per game, but in this game they played a total of 63 long passes as they tried to release Salah and Mane behind Tottenham's high defensive line time and time again. So how Tottenham could have stopped this? In order to deal with the threat of Salah and Mane, you could either drop your defensive line slightly back, or if you don't want to drop your defensive line back, then try to put pressure on the man in possession. High defensive line and no one is trying to press Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk has so much space and time to play a pass and pick his man behind the high defensive line. You can't give this much space and time to someone who has a passing accuracy of 89% and who plays 6 accurate long passes per game. Tottenham on paper were lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but their formation on the ground was mostly 4-2-4. Tottenham's formation did cause some issues for Liverpool's backline. Tottenham had a front line of 4 players, which means 4v4 against Liverpool's back 4. So whenever Trippier or Danny Rose pushed up, it became 5v4 for Tottenham, and one of the Liverpool's defender was always getting outnumbered. 4v4 against the Liverpool back 4, and Trippier pushes up to create overload against Robertson. One fullback pushes up while the other one stays back. Overloads against both Liverpool fullbacks. Eriksen and Dele Alli are keeping the fullbacks narrow to create spaces on the wide areas. Again, 4v4 at the back, Eriksen pulls Robertson narrow and Trippier pushes up to create the overload. Vertonghen's pass to Trippier. 4 attacking players kept the 4 Liverpool defenders engaged, and Trippier now have the chance to make a free run on the right flank. Trippier gets the ball and cuts it back to Eriksen, who is in so much space. Robertson left alone in 1v2 position, the same overload that I just talked about. Eriksen gets the ball from Trippier with time and space, and now instead of playing a first time ball inside the box where Tottenham have 3v2 at the far post, Eriksen holds the ball and plays a back pass. Back pass to Sissoko, and Liverpool now have numbers in the box and the chance is gone. And this was the story of Tottenham's play for the most part. They were getting into some very good positions, but they were missing that final penetrating pass in Liverpool's third. Eriksen and Dele Alli's positions created some issues for Liverpool. Henderson and Wijnaldum were pushing up to cover Sissoko and Harry Winks, while Fabinho was staying back to protect the backline. So Eriksen and Dele Alli often dropped in between the lines and they tried to create 2v1 against Fabinho. So we can see here Henderson is trying to mark wings, Wijnaldum on Sissoko. Both Eriksen and Dele Alli drop in the midfield and they try to create 2v1 against Fabinho. Hugo Lloris to Trippier, Trippier to Eriksen, and Liverpool's front and midfield lines are taken out. Trippier to Eriksen, Eriksen to Sissoko, and Sissoko's first time pass to release Dele Alli. And Tottenham now have 3v3 to attack Liverpool's backline. But the problem for Tottenham was once again their missed passes in the final third. Tottenham often failed to play even the simple passes. And Mourinho also tried to explain the same situation in his post-match comments.
The reality is that Tottenham had 61% of ball possession, but had 0 shots on target. And they missed lots of passes. They couldn't link the play. Harry Kane was hidden all the time. He normally drops back, normally he comes in between the lines, normally is the link play. He receives the ball from one side, he goes in between the lines, he turns, plays with the other fullback of the other side, he arrives in the box. Nothing of this dynamic.
And this brings us to Harry Kane, who looked totally lost in this game. Virgil van Dijk did a very good job against Harry Kane and kept him quiet all night. Van Dijk won 80% of his aerial battles against Harry Kane. And finally the man who made 8 saves for Liverpool and made a huge impact in the final game, Alisson. I made a video on Alisson a few months ago and I explained his importance on transitions. Alisson gets the ball and 6 Palace players have moved up to support the attack. Crystal Palace defensive line also pushes up to support the attack, and now Alisson has the chance to help Liverpool in a quick transition by picking either Salah or Firmino. Tottenham's defensive line pushed up to support the attack. Alisson saw the opportunity and tried to release Mohamed Salah. Congratulations to Liverpool for winning their 6th UCL title, and congrats to Klopp as well, who has finally won the Champions League. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.